Hi everyone, welcome. We're here today with two wonderful people from BDO, and we have Miss Leong, who is an audit assistant manager. Hi, shall we call you Melanie?
Yes.
Melanie, and we also have Mr. Phang Jing Leng, audit senior of BDO. Hi, Mr. Phang. Yes. So I just wanted to thank you for joining this medium, and we're here to get to know you and a little bit more about the work that you do at BDO, because as our department at Monash, we want to help our students understand more about auditing beyond the textbook, beyond what we're teaching in the classroom. So if we could just begin, Melanie, if you can tell us briefly about what you're doing and a little bit about yourself. Thank you.
So I've been working with BDO for 4 years and is currently the assistant manager in BDO.
That's wonderful. And Mr. Phang, what about yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I've been actually working in BDO for the past 3 years already. So my current rank would be a senior associate 1. So basically my job is to perform the external audit, and we will provide the assurance to clients.
Right.
Yeah. So basically that is just a brief idea of what an auditor does.
Wow, that's wonderful. Dr. Shymala?
Melanie, from your perspective, can you just tell us what your expectations working in the audit department differ from your days as a student undergraduate? I understand you come from Monash yourself, isn't it?
No, I actually come from Sunway University. I'm from Sunway University.
Oh, I
close
see.
Enough.
Okay. Close enough, yes.
Yeah, so to be frank, there isn't a big difference in terms of expectations back then as a student, because I did ICAW back then, and I had the opportunity to actually undergo this work-based learning program. So upon completion of the first few papers, I was actually an intern here with BDO itself. So I do have the rough idea of how audit is back then. So it didn't really differ much from the expectations back then and now.
Okay. Mr. Phang, what about yourself?
Yeah, so same with Melanie, my expectation didn't really change that much from my university days until when I started working. So because during my university days, I mean, from what I heard from my seniors is that, auditors, I mean, it's the basic thing which you hear as a student. I mean, long working hours,
Yes.
Deadlines that you gotta achieve. So I knew all these things before I actually set foot inside the audit industry. So regardless of any industry which you step inside, I mean, you would have to have an expectation of what you are stepping into. That's exactly what I did. But same with Melody, my expectation didn't really change that much, but there are still a lot of surprises in audit, I would say.
Sorry.
That's sorry, Mr. Phang,
Yes.
You mentioned long working hours. What do you mean by long working hours?
Oh, okay. So basically, we have a lot of deadlines to be met. So we have a lot of deadlines, and sometimes even some staff, they would actually hold like a few jobs on hand, not just one job, like maybe a few, three, 4 jobs, which is a normal. It's a very normal thing in audit. So we got a few deadlines to be met. We have to meet client deadlines. We have to meet our own deadlines as well, and because of that, our working hours tend to be quite long as well.
Okay. Shymala?
Okay. Besides the long hours expectations, was there any difference from classroom to practice in terms of auditing?
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why we joined audit in the first place. I was getting to that. Thank you.
Okay.
Because the reason why audit, I feel, I think it's really a good stepping stone, because you are actually learning the most within the shortest span of time given to you. So I mean, within 3 years, I mean, you can actually cover a lot of industries. You have a very broad, you have a very broad knowledge of many industries, and I think BDO has many industries which are able to, you know, give you like the right exposure and gives you the right knowledge to do things, to perform the right audit procedures. So I would say it's a very good stepping stone for someone who wants to branch out and, you know, maybe even get a higher rank in a big company in the future. So it's a very good exposure.
So did you do the ICAW course after graduation, or you did it through the Sunway pathway?
I did it with Sunway. I've actually completed ICW already.
Oh, so you did the pathway route, is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So there's a difference between Mr. Phang and yourself.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
No, that's good.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask you the second question? Well, it's a norm for auditors to work in a team. What challenges did you face during the COVID-19 breakdown in terms of your audit team dynamics? Melanie, would you like to start?
Well, be it standalone companies or group companies, we do work as a team when it comes to audit, because at least you will have a preparer, reviewer, and the engagement partner, of course. So the bigger the scale of the engagement, definitely the team will be bigger. And so yes, it is a norm for auditors to work as a team. As for COVID, okay, during the lockdown period, I was actually in the completion stage for a listed company. So there isn't really much challenges faced during the course of the completion audit, because, well, we're near to closing the accounts already. So, but then of course, face-to-face discussions are often more preferable. But with the current technology, discussions are actually not difficult to be done online. For instance, Zoom, like what we're doing now. So we do have a lot of discussions back then using platforms like this. So it didn't really interrupt our audit, for my team at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Phang, were you at the same boat? Completion stage? Challenges. Okay, you said that there were some difficulties and challenges. Can you give some examples in terms of audit procedures where you had to change because of this COVID-19 lockdown?
So I think the most challenging thing that we had to face was actually performing vouching, which is the citing of hard copy documents, because we were unable to do that.
So how did you go around that?
Yeah, so we actually had to create like a list of things that we needed to vouch. And later on, once the COVID wasn't so serious at that point in time, then we would actually get client to, you know, send us like soft copies of the invoices or documentation back to us.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a time-consuming process, and also I think it's a bit troublesome for the client as well.
Do you think your audit costs went up because of that? Because you say you spent too much of time, or you had to write it off.
Sorry, what audit course?
Yes, because of these difficulties, did you actually increase your audit costs, or you had to write it off?
Oh, you mean audit fees?
Yes.
Okay, no, actually, because the audit fees were actually fixed for the year, so no changes to the audit cost as well. I mean, to maintain goodwill and, you know, with the clients as well. So no changes were made for my side, at least. Yeah.
Okay. The next question I was going to ask you is, can you tell us the challenges faced by undertaking the preliminary risk assessment of your local and international audit clients during the COVID-19 lockdown? This is the initial risk planning stage. Melanie, would you like to start?
Yeah, I've just recently closed off the December year-end job, and I'm not in planning stage for any of the jobs yet because I'm still doing 2 December listed companies. So I'm not really doing any planning work for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phang, yourself?
So planning stage wise, I'm actually doing 2 standalones for my side. So yeah, I'm actually able to enter client's place now. So yeah, I'm able to perform planning stage already.
So can you just sort of, for the sake of the students, can you sort of tell from your experience, how do you go about doing the planning? Because the students are all doing it through the textbook, yeah?
Yeah. So basically, planning is basically trying to understand how the engagement works, you know, like how this industry works. So actually, when first time, if you're coming from a different industry, you feel a bit confused actually, because like you're coming from a property industry and then you enter like a retail industry.
Yeah, so basically what we do in planning is to understand the entity's internal control, especially like what you do, I mean, just to test the effectiveness of the control system. So during planning, most of the time we'll perform walkthrough tests. Maybe we just do a sample or 2 on the entire process. For instance, revenue cycle from their initial say ordering from customers order all the way up to the posting or even collection. So we'll just perform probably a few samples on the entire cycle to ensure that the internal control is actually effective. So that's basically what we do in planning. Basically, it's just to understand the company better, I would say.
Okay. So you look at the control aspects. What about the inherent aspects of the company?
Yeah, we do look at it in planning stage as well, together with all the risk assessment. Yeah.
Okay. For the sake of the students, could you just explain from your experience for inherent risk, what sort of information would you collect to assess a company? Would you look at market news, etc.? In terms of your client?
Well, risk, there are many types of risk. So market risk is, well, we do look at it, especially for listed companies. We do look at share price and stuff like that. So especially now with the MFRS 9, we do look at inflation rates, for instance. So we do really look into inherent risk.
Okay, so you look at external information more, is it?
Well, I wouldn't say more, but we do look at it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Phang, now you're able to tell your planning stage?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's as what Melanie has said just now. I mean, the best, most effective way is actually performing a walkthrough. So, I mean, back in my university days, I still didn't understand what a walkthrough was at that point in time. But actually, when you actually perform it, it's the best way to actually understand how the process flows. So basically, like a walkthrough for the students. I mean, it's like it's like from the starting point of the process, you will actually get whatever documents that you need, and you will actually compile it into an audit file. So we will compile everything into a file for our manager to review. So if we were testing, let's say, revenue. So revenue, you would get those documents like invoices, invoices, delivery orders, receipts, bank statements. So you actually obtain all these things, and we actually understand and document down the flow of the process. So that's basically a brief idea of what a walkthrough is.
Okay. Next question is, what's the hardest part of the audit work for you? So can I start with Melanie, yourself first?
Well, I think what Jing previously mentioned, we will is definitely time. We will never have enough time. Deadlines are often very, very tight, especially for listed entities. And then like what he mentioned earlier also, we actually hold few jobs concurrently. So to actually manage time to meet all these deadlines, be it client's deadline or the statutory deadline, is actually difficult, I would say. And it makes it even more difficult if we do not have enough manpower also, or everyone is just too busy with few jobs concurrently. So I would say that's most difficult. Yeah.
Mr. Phang, yourself?
Yeah, it's exactly what Melanie has said. I mean, it even gets more, yeah, it'll get even more worse if there's like really lack of stuff. And, there we have a lot of deadlines to be met as well. We have a lot of submissions to the SSM, it's the Syarikat Suruhanjaya Malaysia. And we got like quarterly announcements and for listed companies. And yeah, we just have a lot of deadlines, I would say it's a normal thing in audit.
So which are your peak times then during the audit? I know it's December is a peak time. You got a lot of interns going in during that period.
I have March, June, and December, I would say. These few quarters are peak to me because I do have a few listed clients with year ends of March, June, and December. So it will be very peak for me 3 months after the year end from the end of the accounting period, I would say. And for listed I would say from June to December, June to March is normally very busy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's one listed after another.
I'm just following up
Yes.
on the time, and also, currently, like with the MCO this year, or for most part of this year, you probably couldn't do an inventory audit. Am I right?
I'm doing construction and property, so I don't really do inventory.
Okay.
I don't go for stock take, so it didn't really affect me because I did site visit back in December, on December 31st itself.
Right. So, but site visits are back on. But there was, I guess there was a space of what, 4 or 5 months where you couldn't do a site visit. It may not have affected you, but may have affected other teams in your company.
Yeah. I think reconciliation, I mean, you can't go and perform this inventory audit back then during the MCO. So the only thing that we can do is probably alternatives. We can, I would say that the inventory audit will still go on, but at the end of the day, they will have to do reconciliation to reconcile it back to probably as at the year-end date, as also and also other alternative procedures, I would say.
Which, Mr. Phang, which area are you in? Or Melanie's doing construction property. Which area are you in doing the audits?
Okay, so I was actually in property industry. That's for my December year-end job. Currently, I'm actually in the service, like a cleaning service sort of thing. So it's a company which provides like cleaning services. But I mean, back to your question regarding the stock take, BDO actually utilizes this like a phone app, which is, I think it's called the virtual stock taking app actually. Yeah, so we were actually able to perform stock takes, I mean, without actually physically there to actually count the stocks. So we would, yeah, so we'd actually get, get maybe the staff there to, physically cite it first, like put it all into one specific area and actually use the app to actually record down the stock and inventory. Yeah.
Do you think technology has changed the way you do auditing in the last 5 years? Like we talk about RPA and there's all these different technologies out there, but at the end of the day, the basic audit task of getting enough samples statistically to formulate a true and fair view, has technology changed how you've been doing things in the last 4 years?
Well, I think, yeah, technology really does change the whole audit process, I would say. I think in some areas in audit, it would actually benefit us. So in the sense that maybe of the audit software that we're using, I mean, during last time, the auditors will actually have to manually calculate the sample size and everything, and then which doesn't really cover the whole population of the item itself. So I can see now that with the new audit software that we're using, we would actually have sampling templates. So we would actually, effectively select the right sample, which reduces our risk of, not having a true and fair view, I would say. So technology, I feel, really does cut down the timing. I mean, it helps with the timing of the engagement as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Shymala?
Softwares that you talk about, are they in-house or you have got specialists to come and do it?
I think it's within the BDO group from what I heard. Yeah, because I think the software they'll be tested in. I heard it's from BDO Holland and BDO Australia. Yeah, so I mean, I think BDO Australia is spearheading the technological IT. They're trying to implement more IT into the audit procedures as well.
Okay, that's good. So you do use this for substantive testing as well? The softwares?
Yeah, I mean, for my new current jobs, yeah, we're actually using all these things. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The final one is your advice that you would give the undergraduate majors about taking on the auditing unit. What advice would you give them? Because my students keep saying it's so difficult. And some have got issues with expressing themselves, writing. So what advice would you give them?
Melanie?
Well, I would say since they are all students, right, the first step is always difficult. I mean, your first job is always difficult. If you were to look for jobs in this industry, employers often do look for people with the audit background. So audit may be difficult at the beginning, but it is definitely a good stepping stone for this industry. If you want to venture into this industry, I would say it's a really good stepping stone if you were to take on audit.
But Melanie, what made you interested in auditing personally?
Well, like I mentioned back then, it's actually it's a very good pathway to actually to grow in this industry. People actually do look for auditors. I mean, when you go to commercial, people usually do hire. I mean, the chance of success is actually higher if you were an auditor, I would say. So I think, and of course, you do get to learn many different things in audit. You don't just learn one industry. I myself experienced many industries here over the past 4 years. You get to expose yourself to various things. And when you do audit, you get to look at the full set of accounts in a very short period as compared to what you do in commercial. Commercial audit, maybe for the first few years, you'll be only handling, let's say, receivables or payables, but not the full set audit. So actually audit well, it is really a good stepping stone, I would say. You get to learn a lot within a very short time.
Mr. Phang?
Yeah, it's yeah. So I totally agree with Melanie. I mean, you actually, gain all these great experiences within such a short amount of time, and actually, utilize this and you actually transfer these skills to your next job, which I think it's a very valuable set of skills that you're learning in audit for the maybe 3 years. So I think, yeah, I would say it's a very valuable skill.
Are both of you on the path towards completing the professional year? If you haven't done so already, I understand that might be under the purview of a chartered accountants organisation, but under MICPA, I'm not sure. Shymala, do you?
I know
Understand what
Melanie
I'm
is
saying here?
ICW. Mr.
Right.
Phang, are you doing any professional qualification exams?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually in my final paper for ACCA.
Well done.
Yeah, so I was actually supposed to take the exam in June, but I mean, because of the COVID, everything was postponed to December.
And Melanie, Melanie, you completed your professional year.
Yeah, I've already completed ICW.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
And how do you compare that to your third year of undergraduate?
To be honest, I didn't take degree. I took ICW directly. So I didn't, yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't compare because I wasn't in degree.
Okay.
Mr. Phang will be able to, when you start from degree to do your professional exams.
Yeah, I mean, I started from a degree course, and after I graduated, I took on the professional paper.
Okay. Can you tell me why you chose ACCA? Is it because of BDO or it's something of your own interest?
I would say during my university, I was in Monash at that time. It was my final semester. So I remember there's this one lecturer. She kept telling us, I think maybe it was you, Dr. Shymala. No,
I myself am ACCA. I'm an ACCA member as well.
Yeah, I mean,
very familiar to me.
Yeah, I mean, because there was this one lecturer I remember. She was saying you got to take the professional papers. Now the job market is just so competitive. You got to take at least a professional paper, and at that time Monash was offering like exemptions. I remember you got to take like a professional audit some accounting subject in Monash that you got to take to qualify for the exemption. So yeah, I actually took it as well. I think, yeah, I did. So I was exempted from 9 papers. So I'm left with 4, then, you know, might as well just get the professional paper while I'm at it.
Well done.
That's good. So you'll be sitting for December exams, would you, Mr. Phang?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Good luck to you. You only got 1 paper left. Oh, that's very good. Which one is that?
It's a new paper, Strategic Business Leadership.
Okay.
Oh, we love that one.
Because I heard a lot of students don't take the professional auditing paper. They say it's very difficult to pass. I think the failure rate is, I think, is about 30-odd%, is it? Or something like that. Oh no, pass rate is 30-odd% worldwide.
Yeah, I think the most hardest paper would be the AAA paper.
Yeah.
Advanced Audit and Assurance. I think that's like 30% pass rate.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean ACCA, I mean definitely can pass. Just keep trying, you know.
Yeah,
I like that, Mr. Phang. Keep trying. Don't give up. That's very, very good advice.
Yes.
I think the main purpose of us engaging with our audit fellows at BDO is to encourage our students rather than tell them that the pass rates are very low. What you're sharing with us is that this isn't your first and last job that you're going to have after graduating. And given that situation, then audit gives you a huge stepping stone to go into other areas, because you're always going to think of new things to get excited about as you get a few more years experience, and you realize that, oh, I want to go into a particular area, and then having your experience in auditing can skyrocket your move into that area, and you're more competitive in the marketplace. Yeah. I put myself in the minds of the students. It's very hard to think about that 2 or 3 years in advance of when you're at university, and getting to know Mr. Phang, Melanie, your experience, I think, can just help bridge the gap of between university study and actual practice. And I know BDO has been really supportive in terms of the award, Shymala, and also in terms of internships. So we really appreciate BDO for this. I just want to thank Melody and thank Mr. Phang for joining us today. I can tell you're both very, very busy. So thank you for making time out of your busy schedule.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah,
okay.
no problem.
Thank you. Okay,
Thank
then.
you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Okay, then. See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.